Dear child, you have been quiet with me lately. Not because your heart turned hard, not because love vanished, but because you have been tired in a place you do not know how to explain. You reach for distraction when the room gets too still. You keep moving, keep scrolling, keep folding the day into smaller pieces, because somewhere underneath it all is the ache of wondering why your words have felt unanswered. And part of you has started to think, maybe I said too much before. Maybe I asked for what was never coming. Maybe silence means I should stop trying. Beloved, I know how disappointment can close a person. I know how grief can make conversation feel heavy. I know how hope, when it has been bruised enough, starts walking with a limp. So when you grow quiet, I do not stand back from you in offense. I do not cross my arms. I do not keep score of how many mornings you passed me by. I understand the language of worn-out souls. I understand the pause that comes after tears. I understand the kind of sadness that does not always cry but simply stops reaching. Dear heart, you have mistaken your exhaustion for distance. You have mistaken your numbness for rejection. You have mistaken the stillness for absence. Yet I have not moved away from you. Even now, in the place where you feel least spiritual, least clear, least able to find the right words, I am leaning close. You do not need polished sentences here. You do not need a better tone, a stronger faith, a cleaner record, or a brighter mood. You do not need to come to me with shining thoughts. You can come with the fog. You can come with the frustration. You can come with the unfinished questions and the low energy and the quiet resentment you have been ashamed to name. Precious one, there is a difference between leaving and being weary. And you, my dear one, have been weary. Weary of hoping for change that seemed delayed. Weary of carrying responsibilities that do not pause just because your heart is sore. Weary of holding yourself together for everyone else, then sitting alone with nothing left to offer. Some nights you almost speak to me, then stop. Because what would you say? That you are disappointed? That you feel forgotten? That you are afraid your tenderness toward me has thinned into habit, and habit has thinned into silence? Sweet soul, say that. Say exactly that. I would rather hear the rough truth than the neat performance. I would rather meet you inside your honest ache than listen to words you think sound proper. You have wondered whether your distance has hurt me. You have wondered whether your inconsistency has made me pull back. You have wondered whether too much time has passed, whether too much doubt has gathered, whether the quiet between us has become its own kind of wall. Listen closely. No wall has been built that love cannot cross. No missed day, no dull season, no discouraged thought has made me misplace your name. You are still known here, still wanted, still welcome. Loved one, there are moments when pain does not make a person cry out. It makes them go silent. It makes them conserve feeling. It makes them protect the little warmth they have left. And when that happens, they begin avoiding the very place where they most long to be held, because being held might open the ache again. So you have stood at the doorway of conversation and turned away, not because you did not care, because you cared enough to fear the disappointment would rise all over again, because you were not sure you could bear another quiet answer, because part of you thought, if I do not bring it up, maybe it will hurt less. My child, come closer to this truth. Avoiding the wound has not eased it. Pushing down the need has not made you stronger. Pretending the ache is smaller has only made you lonelier inside it. I am not asking you to reopen everything at once. I am not pressing you to explain every detail. I am not demanding a full return in one brave moment. I am simply inviting you to stop hiding your silence from the one who already understands it. Beloved, when you sit with me and feel nothing at first, that does not mean nothing is happening. Roots grow in hidden places. Healing often begins before it announces itself. What feels like emptiness is not always empty. Sometimes it is the quiet where pressure loosens. Sometimes it is the pause where your heart stops performing and starts telling the truth. Sometimes it is the first small mercy after a long stretch of holding too much inside. Dear one, you do not need to force devotion out of a tired chest. You do not need to chase some intense emotion to prove there is still connection. Steady love is often softer than you expected. It may sound like one sigh. It may sound like, I do not know what to say. It may sound like, I am here but I am hurting. It may sound like tears that never become words. And yes, it may sound like silence shared together, instead of silence carried alone. This is what I want you to know. I am not offended by your unfinished process. I am not alarmed by your confusion. I am not threatened by your honest questions. Your disappointment does not frighten me. Your doubt does not cause me to withdraw. Your weariness does not disqualify you from tenderness. Precious one, I have seen the way you blamed yourself for not feeling what you used to feel. You compared this season to earlier days when words came easier, when affection rose faster, when hope seemed less costly. And because this moment does not look like that one, you decided something must be wrong with your heart. But seasons change without love disappearing. A tree in winter is not dead because it stands without leaves. It is conserving life where no one can see. So do not condemn yourself for having a quieter season. Do not name yourself faithless simply because you are fatigued. Do not call it abandonment when it is grief. My dear one, there are burdens you have carried without even realizing how heavy they became. The burden of trying to stay strong. The burden of not wanting to need too much. The burden of waiting with dignity. The burden of smiling when inwardly you were starting to shut down. The burden of thinking that if you could just manage yourself better, you would feel close again. No, dear heart, closeness is not earned by emotional stamina. It is not a prize for the untroubled. It is not reserved for the articulate. It is given freely to the honest. And honesty can be very small. It can be this, I miss what I used to feel. It can be this, I do not know how to come near. It can be this, I am angry that I still hurt. It can be this, please stay with me even though I am quiet. Loved one, I have. I did. I will. There is your one steady answer. Not loud, not dramatic, just true. I have stayed through the dull mornings. I have stayed through the nights when you chose noise because silence felt dangerous. I have stayed through the moments you almost reached, then pulled your hand back. I have stayed through every private disappointment you never fully named. I have stayed while you wondered whether I was still listening, and I am listening now. My child, you have feared that if you begin speaking again, you will have to explain where you have been. You have feared that you owe some grand apology, some impressive return, some spiritual recovery story. You do not owe me theater. You do not need to narrate your absence as though I were uninformed. I was there in the empty feeling days. I was there when your mind went blank. I was there when you wanted comfort but did not know how to ask for it. I was there when you felt embarrassed to need reassurance again. I was there when you wondered why this still mattered so much. Sweet soul, I know where you have been. You have been surviving. You have been trying not to fall apart in front of people who depend on your steadiness. You have been keeping routines going while inner disappointment sat in the background like a low storm. You have been carrying questions without finding the right shelf to place them on. And because you could not solve them, you stopped bringing them. But unresolved things do not scare me. Bring them unresolved. Bring them half-formed. Bring them tangled. Bring them exactly as they are. Beloved, there is a gentleness I want you to learn in this season. Not the gentleness of pretending pain is small. The gentleness of no longer shaming yourself for needing care. When a wound is tender, you do not strike it to make it heal faster. You protect it. You clean it slowly. You make room for recovery. So why have you treated your own heart with less mercy than you would offer to someone you dearly love? Why have you spoken inwardly with such harshness? Why have you expected instant return, instant warmth, instant clarity? Dear heart, healing is often quiet. It does not always enter with bright music. Sometimes it comes like a candle lit in a room you thought would stay dim. Not enough to show everything. Enough to help you stop fearing the dark. Enough to remind you that small light is still light. Enough to make the next step less lonely. That is how I am meeting you now. Not with pressure, not with accusation, with steady warmth, with patient nearness, with words that do not rush your pace. Precious one, you have not lost your place with me. You have not talked yourself out of being loved. You have not become too complicated to hold. Even this version of you, the tired version, the hesitant version, the version with delayed prayers and guarded hope, is deeply cherished. And I want you to hear this too. I am not waiting for you to become easier before I draw near with comfort. I do not require a polished inner world. I meet real people. I meet shaking people. I meet disappointed people. I meet people who cannot feel much except the heaviness of being worn down. And I am very tender with them, dear one. I know that part of you misses the sweetness you once felt. You miss the ease. You miss the sense that connection came quickly. You miss the kind of closeness that seemed to rise without effort. But deeper love is not always louder love. Sometimes it is quieter, truer, less tangled with mood, less dependent on the day going well. Sometimes deeper love looks like this. Still turning your face my way even when it is hard. Still remaining open by one honest inch. Still telling the truth instead of disappearing entirely. Still allowing yourself to be found in the very place you wanted to hide. That matters, loved one, more than you know. Because every small turn away from self-protection and toward honesty creates room for peace to return. Not all at once, not by force, but truly. Dear one, I do not need a flood of words to know your heart. I hear the ache beneath the ache. I hear the question beneath the question. I hear the longing beneath the numbness. And what I hear is not indifference. It is longing bruised by delay. It is love made cautious by pain. It is hope learning how to stand again. So do not call yourself cold when you are simply careful. Do not call yourself distant when you are trying to protect a tender place. Do not assume the quiet means the bond is gone. It is not gone. It is here, breathing softly, waiting without pressure, ready for your smallest honesty. Beloved, perhaps all you can offer today is a few plain words. Then offer plain words. Perhaps all you can offer is your attention for one unguarded minute. Then let 1 minute be enough. Perhaps all you can offer is to stop running from the stillness. That too is a kind of opening. I will not despise small beginnings. I will not mock your fragile returning. I will not measure your love by volume. I notice the quiet courage it takes to begin again when disappointment once taught you to shut the door. My child, there is no punishment waiting in my presence. No coldness. No sigh of annoyance. No reminder that you should have done better. There is understanding here. There is room. There is relief for the one who has carried too much inside. So set down for a moment the need to explain yourself perfectly. Set down for a moment the fear that you have drifted too far. Set down for a moment the belief that your silence has changed my heart toward you. It has not. My heart toward you has not soured. It has not thinned. It has not become uncertain. It remains steady, open, full of care. Sweet soul, I would rather have your weary company than your polished distance. I would rather sit with you in the truth of your tiredness than watch you hide behind composure. So if all you can do is lean inward a little, that is enough for now. If all you can do is whisper, stay near, that is enough for now. If all you can do is stop assuming I am disappointed in you, that is enough to begin softening the ache. Loved one, relief does not always arrive as sudden happiness. Sometimes relief is simpler. Sometimes it is the realization that you do not have to carry the relationship by yourself. Sometimes it is learning that you can be quiet without being abandoned. Sometimes it is the moment you stop bracing for rejection and find only kindness waiting. Let that kindness meet you, not as a demand, as a place to rest. Dear heart, Rest is holy when a soul has been straining. Rest is wise when the mind has been circling the same questions without finding peace. Rest is not quitting. Rest is how tenderness returns to places that have gone numb. And as tenderness returns, words will come when they come. Not forced, not staged, natural again, gentle again, safe again. Until then, your worth is not suspended. Your place is not uncertain. Your belovedness is not on hold. Precious one, I am nearer than the fear that told you to pull away. Nearer than the disappointment that made your heart go quiet. Nearer than the shame that whispered you should have been stronger by now. I am closer than your heaviest thought. Closer than the ache in your chest. Closer than the silence itself. And even here, especially here, there is nothing about you that makes me turn away. My dear one, you can stop wondering whether I still want you. You can stop guessing whether the quiet changed my desire to hear from you. You can stop standing outside the doorway as though you have become a stranger. You are not a stranger here. You are known. You are welcomed. You are wanted. Not for what you can say well, not for how steadily you feel, not for how quickly you recover, for who you are. Beloved, when this voice grows quiet, let the comfort remain. Let it settle low and deep. You do not need to hold yourself rigid tonight. You do not need to solve the whole distance. You do not need to manufacture warmth. Just be here. Just allow yourself to be cared for. Just rest in the truth that love has not stepped back from you. Dear child, whether your next words are many or very few, whether tomorrow feels lighter or still somewhat heavy, whether your heart opens quickly or only by degrees, I remain gentle toward you. I remain available. I remain near in the stillness after this, in the quiet room, in the ordinary hour when no one else sees what your heart is carrying. So come when you can. Be silent when you must. Lean close in whatever way is honest. And know this, dear one, you have not lost me. I am here, softly, steadily, with enough tenderness for this moment and the next, and the one after that. Amen. Dear family, it is a blessing to share God's word with you each day. We continue this mission with dedication and hope. If you would like to support and help us continue this work, you will find the support link in the description and in the comment box below. Thank you for being part of this prayer.